What is happening, J Gamer Dude here, and I came across this story and I'm surprised about it because I never thought that I would see something like this. Nor did I hear anything about it, but it's probably because I don't actually play MapleStory. So effectively, Nexon is being fined for $9 million in Korea because they have loot boxes in the game, sure enough. But the thing is that they didn't tell anyone that the odds of getting what they wanted was near zero. In fact, as impossible as it can get. So you can dangle a carrot in front of a in front of a rabbit as much as you want. But the thing is, if that rabbit had absolutely no chance in getting the carrot whatsoever, then what was the point in dangling it, right? That's effectively what's happened here with MapleStory. And I didn't know about this until I was like kind of perusing the internet, thinking to myself, look, loot boxes have been the ire of the internet game space for like what since Star Wars Battlefront 2 was doing it with progression that kind of assisted in you being able to play better and things like that. It should never have been, when you get gameplay affecting things on a dice roll, that's just never good, especially when real money is involved. Because then people will want you to ideally pay with, real money to, get those sorts of things. And normally are exclusive to only being payable with real money. Now, the thing about Asian countries is that they are heavy in mobile land, where mostly mobile games are played, and most games that are played almost entirely run on microtransactions and things like that, which is why companies are able to make so much money making games on mobile, because it proliferates so heavily in these sorts of Asian countries, because the culture is always about, I have money, where do I give that money so that I can then be able to do or get something nice. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm able to keep it, it's just that it's more so the case of money making the world go around. And so it's this article by Kat Bailey, which again surprises me because it's the Koreans' version of the FTC that's actually going to be doing it. So deceptive loot box practices, I feel like we've heard that terminology enough, but for things to be run down to near zero, and doing that secretly without anyone knowing, that's interesting. And the fact that they've also had loot boxes since 2010. So again, I personally have not played MapleStory at all, though I've been thinking about getting into it given that its aesthetic looks nice and cutesy, and it seems like a nice game to kind of jump into. And unfortunately, it looks like... Okay, this is also interesting. So while Nexon... Does Nexon develop or just publish it? Okay, no, Nexon develops MapleStory, okay. Because there's this very interesting quote in here, which is that Nexon made announcements about changes to the games hundreds of times from 2010 to 2021, but it omitted the information about the possibility adjustment. So this seems to have been just lying by omission, from what I can tell based on what's been happening here, since loot boxes have now been taken over by battle passes through games like Dota 2 and Fortnite, which it says literally right here on the article. Which is true, because again, Fortnite was also sued because of like their practices for using loot boxes at all. But beyond that level of specificity, I don't actually remember why not Fortnite, I'd rather say Epic Games was actually the ones that were sued regarding loot boxes in Fortnite. But yeah, again, using deception by secretly lowering the odds of the things that you're advertising to people, being like, hey, do you want this thing? Pay money, and then we run it to like 0% likelihood that you're actually going to get it. So much so to the point that like, the company rakes in on all of the money, and then beyond that, like, they've not been caught doing this until now, and the Korean FTC are now the ones that are going to be fining them. But what does $9 million even mean to a massive company like Nexon? I'm pretty sure their like value is up in the billions of all things. Also, it's been around since 2003. MapleStory. That's interesting. But yeah, yeah, I'm surprised that this sort of thing was actually happening in any game, let alone MapleStory. So I thought that this was just a fascinating thing to bring up. I wonder if any more action will be taken beyond the point of it just being a fine, or is there going to be more action? Because I feel like with America, especially with Americans, there's a lot of litigation going around. Like, if you want anything done, or if anything bad has happened to you, no matter how little, it's always going to be sue that person into oblivion or whatever it may be. So I wonder if it's going to go beyond what we've seen here so far. But let me know what you guys think about what's going on here with MapleStory. Chuck them into the comments below. Do you think maybe there's going to be more stuff happening from the Korean FTC? And if this was in America and it was the American FTC with an American company, would things happen the same or differently, like through a more litigious means, is I guess what I'm trying to refer to. Let me know what you guys think about that sort of what if scenario in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 200 subs by the end of 2024, and I do want my videos to go out to more people, especially people that play MapleStory, because I do want to hear what your thoughts are as someone who's been playing the game. Whether or not you've actually been going for the loot boxes, I'd be interested to know what people who play the game actually think about the story now that it's come to light. I don't know, it just seems interesting, because if I was playing MapleStory, I'd probably be pretty miffed. But we'll have to see how things go here, or what people who actually play the game think. In saying that, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.